is Crystal, and welcome to a different part of my house today. Usually I film in my library, but Anthony is working from home, so it's really hard for me to film right now. But I wanted to sit down and do with you my reading habit book tag. So no one's actually tagged me in this, but I've seen a bunch of people doing it, and I figure it's a good way for me to introduce myself to you and tell you a little bit more about me and my reading habits. So I figured I'd just tag myself because my channel, my rules, right? So first question is, do you have a certain place at home for reading? I am really lucky. In this house we have just moved into, we have 3 bedrooms. So one has been set up as Anthony's study for him to work from home because with COVID, he's working from home a lot more. And the second is our bedroom, and then the third I have set up as like a guest room library area with a day bed and a place to sit and read. I will include some footage of it now. You'll be able to see that I have like my shelves, and I have set it up with my book cart. I'm probably going to be setting up my Christmas book tree soon because it's near the end of the year. And then I have my beautiful reading chair which I have set up. I'm waiting for a couple more cushion covers to arrive to make that a little bit more complete, but it's starting to look like a dream library for me. I really love sitting in there and reading, but a lot of the time I read half an hour before I go to bed. So I usually do that in my bed because I'm comfy, I'm cozy, I'm in my pajamas, and I'm supine because that's just where I want to be when I'm reading, as comfy as possible. Question number 2 is bookmark or random piece of paper. I am one of those people that has such a huge bookmark collection that usually when I choose my TBR for the month, I put a bookmark in each book. So when I start that book, I've got a bookmark ready to go. So I'm definitely a bookmark person. There has been times though where I've forgotten where I've put my bookmark when I'm in the middle of reading, and I have used my phone, I have used a random piece of paper, I've used a business card because where I work we have like appointment cards. I'll chuck that in. I've used receipts, pieces of clothing, like whatever I can to hold my spot so that I don't lose it. So I am probably in the middle of the 2, but mostly it's a bookmark kind of person. Question number 3 is, do you just stop reading or do you have to get to the end of a chapter or a certain number of pages before you can stop? This is really difficult for me because it depends on the book that I'm reading, but mostly if I'm reading a book that has short chapters, 100% I have to get to the end of the chapter before I can put the book down. If it's a book with quite long chapters, I probably need to stop at a page break, or I need to stop at a page where the bottom of the page is the end of a sentence. So like if I get to the bottom and it's continuing on to the next page, I need to keep reading until I get to a point where I'm at a point where I can stop and know that I'm at the top of the page or at the top of the page break. So ideally though, end of chapter for me. Question number 4 is, do you eat or drink while reading? I literally have a container in my cupboard full of snacks ready for me to take with me to sit and read. I love snacking while I'm reading. My snack of choice is Cheetos, but with the amount of reading I've been doing lately, I need to minimize how much I'm snacking because I haven't been exercising as much because of COVID and everything. So yeah, I had to change my snacks up a little bit. So lately I've been doing handfuls of nuts, and I definitely usually try and have a warm beverage. It used to be tea a lot, but recently I've been doing the coffee because I got a pod machine at home and some really good pods that are biodegradable. So I've just been smashing the coffees while I sit down and read my book. So yes, I definitely always have something to eat or drink while I'm going. I even invested or got gifted a book weight to hold my book open so I can eat while I read. Question number 5 is multitasking. Do you listen to music and /TV while you're reading? I used to be a very big listen to classical music or very chill jazz music while I was reading, but lately I have been listening to the audiobook as I read the physical copy. So I haven't actually been having a lot of background noise music going on while I read. I can read while TV's playing in the background, but I tend to choose to not have TV playing while I'm reading. We don't watch a lot of TV in our house, and if we do, we're sitting down wholeheartedly just watching that movie. We're not trying to just have it on as background noise. So 9 times out of 10, it's audiobook in my ears, not music, but I can read while music is playing. Question number 6 is, do you read one book at a time or have multiple books going at once? For those that know me, I am the multiple books at once kind of girl. I usually have an ebook, an audiobook, and a physical going at the same time, and sometimes I will have more of one of those going at the same time as well. So at the moment, I'm currently reading 7 books, but if I was to say how much I'm actually currently reading, I would probably say 3. So to me, currently reading is a book that I am reading or have been reading in the last couple of days, week or so. So I have a ebook for a publisher that I'm reading. I have a physical copy that is also for a publisher called Once Upon a Dream. And then I also have the audiobook of From the Desk of Zoe something or other. I can't think of it, but I only started it about 2 days ago, and I only listened to about 20 minutes of it, but it's for Believeathon. So yeah, that's my audiobook that I've got going at the moment. Question number 7. Do you read at home or everywhere? Everywhere for me. I literally have a book in my bag at all times. I have my headphones charged at all times, ready to listen to an audiobook, and I carry them with me everywhere. I actually have 2 sets of headphones that are constantly charged, so I can like cycle through. If one dies, I've got the second one there. And I usually have my Kindle and my physical book, plus my AirPods and my phone, ready to go wherever I go. Like, I don't remember the last time I went somewhere without a book. I even go to parties and I have a book in my bag, because you never know if you're gonna need to spend time reading, you know. Question number 8 is, do you read out loud or silently in your head? I read silently in my head, but there has been periods and certain books that I have read out loud because I think it's added to the experience. I do love reading out loud to children, and I love reading kids' books, so I definitely read out loud in that regard, but if I'm just reading my own book to myself, it's definitely inside my head. Question number 9. Do you read ahead or skip pages? I will only ever skip pages if I am seriously contemplating DNFing a book. For those who don't know, DNF is do not finish, or not finishing a book. So if I am really not enjoying a book and I find myself getting very, very close to DNFing, I will sometimes skip a chapter or skip a couple pages to try and like re-pick it up, see if it's gonna pick me back up again. But most of the time I don't skip ahead or skip pages. It's only if I'm seriously contemplating not finishing that book because it's just completely not sold. So that's probably the only time I skip ahead. But it's usually no more than a chapter or a couple of pages. Question number 10. Breaking the spine or keeping it like new? I definitely used to be the kind of person who tried to keep it like new, but I realized it was unrealistic. So now I just read a book and I enjoy it. And if the spine gets broken, it looks like it's well read. I mean, it doesn't look as pretty on the shelf, but eventually you don't even notice the difference. So for me, it is definitely a spine breaker. I just read whatever happens. If it breaks, it breaks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And the final question, question number 11, which I don't have 11 fingers, 11 is, do you write in your books? The answer to this is 100% no. I do not write in my books. I think I'm probably one of the only people I know that doesn't annotate their books. I will add sticky notes, like to mark places, which I don't do very often. I usually only do that if I'm reading a fantasy novel and I'm trying to wrap my head around all the characters or the world itself. But if I'm reading a book, I don't really mark a lot. Sometimes I will highlight things on my Kindle. If I'm reading an ebook, I'll highlight certain quotes to help me with my review later. But most of the time I have a journal next to me if I'm reading a book that I want to review, and I'll write my thoughts down externally, not within the book. So no, I don't like to write in my books. The only thing that I do to change my book is I emboss the inside with my embosser saying, this is Library of Crystal, read it, return it, read it, love it, return it. And that's pretty much all I do. So thank you for watching. Do you have similar reading tastes to me? Do you do similar things? Are you completely different? Tell me why. Should I change what I do? Let me know in the comments down below. And thanks for watching. Until next time, happy reading.